Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our State of the School for the end of the second trimester of the 2020-21 school year. We will have a Thursday thought just about toward the end of this presentation, but I just wanted to use this time to talk about how things are going at the school. And I haven't received any questions ahead of time, but if anybody has any questions during this, you can just put it in the comment section below, and Miss Margaret will read them to me as we get toward the end. Okay, so feel free to do that if you have any questions about stuff, and I will go back to those toward the end. All right, so I think we'll just get started. Got my cozy sweater on today because, as you know, we're in the middle of Read Across America Week, and today was read with a cozy book, or no, read wearing cozy clothes with a good book. All right, so we did that today, and it's been a really good, fun week with that, and I'm so proud of the committee of teachers that came up with all the ideas to really get the kids into reading this week. So that's awesome. But with no further ado, we'll start the presentation. So just like last time, I'm going to turn the camera on my laptop because with Facebook, there's not an easy way to share a screen or anything. So let's see. Okay, so here we go. State of the school, end of the second trimester. Okay. All right. So what's going well? Okay. I know I said this at the first State of the School. We are still here and healthy. And that has been an amazing result of this school year, right? When we look back, it's almost been a year since we first started this whole COVID thing, right? March 13th is when they declared the quarantine that took us through last year, and here we still are. And, you know, our school has done exceptionally well with hardly any cases of COVID, I knock on wood, and that is definitely because of all of our cleaning. We have Agnes, Norbert, Adam are our cleaning people, and they've done an excellent job with keeping things so, you know, sanitized and coming throughout the day for this. It's been awesome. But then, of course, parents and teachers working together. We are so blessed that we have the synchronous in-school and distance learning going on at the same time, so that if kids are feeling sick, they stay at home. And that has stopped us a couple times from quarantining whole classrooms because kids are home before they get diagnosed with COVID. So that's been really great. So thank you all for following our protocol with the masks, with cleanliness. It's just second nature, really, to all of us here at school. Yeah, we still have our counselor. That has really taken off. She is fully booked. She's here on Fridays. Coach Kathy. She's here other days as an academic coach, but on Fridays, she is here as our counselor, and she has been doing a lot of group work with some classes, as well as meeting with individual students, and she's amazing, and we are going to find ways to retain her for next year as well. All right. Of course, we've had the art. I hope you've seen your child's art projects. We have an artist, Laura Erickson, who submits videos to us, and then there's different teachers who proctor them to each class, and I've really been so impressed with what the kids come up with that. You know, of course, we would love to have an art teacher, and we're working toward that for next year, but this has been a really good experience, I think, for everybody. Music, Brother James has stepped in with all the classes, and I think it's great that he's there to give them a little music fun and a little bit of learning, the older grades. PE, you know that I've stepped in to do that. I've kept the kids active, and then I even have, I know you've probably heard on Fridays, there is a sub for me, and we call her an e-learning assistant sub. We're able to obtain her through grant money because she is an e-learning assistant in that teachers need their PE break so that they can be conferencing online with their at-home learners. If they didn't have that PE break, there would be problems. We wouldn't be able to talk with our at-home learners, and that's just really part of the whole system of making this work. So we're so glad, I'm so glad, because Fridays I tend to have a lot of meetings, things I need to go through, archdiocesan, that sort of stuff. So I'm so glad to have her. Most of the time it's Mrs. Donna Kassar, and we've had some other subs in between too. So maybe you've heard that if your child has PE on Fridays, they've had a sub and not me. All right, and I've been so happy that we were able to keep our librarian and our religion teacher this year. So yay. I still claim that the reason everything works here and makes all the extra work worthwhile is because everything is very positive and happy, and I just say joyous. It's joyous to come here every day. The kids seem happy. We've had different events, such as since the last time I came to you with one of these State of the Schools, we had the successful in-person post-Christmas quarantine daycare, we had like 15 kids who were here during those 2 weeks, and we were able to keep them separated and keep them learning, and I know their parents appreciated that. We had the literacy fair for Catholic Schools Week. You know, each classroom took a different kind of literary genre and really explored that, and I was so proud that we did that anyway, even though a little anticlimactic that we couldn't have all of our parents through the building like last year, but we still made a video tour. Kids helped with that as well. You can see that on our website. It's our temporary video tour of the school, and I definitely want to make another one too, just showing a typical day at St. Ferdinand. So hopefully be on the lookout for that before the school year ends. We had a really good Catholic Schools Week. I really liked the day that we did the Cuddle Buddy bracelets. We sold those. That was a bigger hit than I would have imagined. The kids loved those. Thank you for your support of that. And they made the Valentines for the kids at La Rabida Children's Hospital. I love doing the World Mission Rosary. We did it by Zoom since we can't all be together in the chapel or the church. And I know Miss Margaret had been walking around that day taking pictures and had mentioned how excited the kids were waiting for their homeroom to say their decade. Loved that. Vocations, we had to do, Sister Agnes talked with the little kid classes she doesn't normally see. I got to sit in on one of those. She was amazing, just singing and dancing and showing how happy a sister can be and how much of her old self is still retained in her vocation. And then Deacon Sebastian we had on that Friday. The kids know him from when he did his I guess it's an internship here, but he was very personable too. He talked via Zoom to all the homerooms. He answered any question they had, religious or personal. It was really good. So all those things, I like to look back on those things like, yeah, that was good. It worked out. And right now, like I started by saying, we have Read Across America Week. So many fun activities we've had with the kids with reading. And I know there's a mysterious incentive right now. They have the reading logs, and they're supposed to be reading. Every kid in the school is supposed to be reading 10 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes. And having you sign off on that. And if kids are really legit doing that, then we will have 50,000 minutes by the end of the month. That's the goal. There's a little thermometer keeping track of how many minutes we have in the activity center, so they see that at lunch. And right now the activity center is so decorated with Dr. Seuss. If it's all still hanging up next week, we can probably do our Thursday thoughts from there. It would be cute to see all the projects they did this week in association. But have the kids read, because this is going to be a silly incentive that they will want me to be able to do. If you look at the reading log, I think you can even guess from the clues there what it is, but stay tuned. That'll probably happen right after spring break. Of course, academics, you need your kids to have excellent academics. Catholic schools are very proud of our continued excellence in academics. As we already mentioned, part of the reasons our learning is so successful is because we have streamlined the synchronous in-person and at-home learning. And again, I'm so impressed and indebted to our teachers for that. I mean, at this point in the year, everybody's really exhausted from maintaining that, but, wow to them. It's like you have two different jobs at the same time. So it makes things work. They've all mastered that. It was very nerve-wracking back in August. And when I think of how far we've come and maintained it, it's definitely been amazing. One thing that came home today, and I know some of you already knew this from your conferences, the iReady Personalized Learning Pilot Program in Reading and Math. We are continually successfully doing that. I'm going to show you school-wide scores in a minute. But, what the iReady, you got the scores today if your child is in kindergarten through 8th. We do it for the whole school. Archdiocesan policies, you just have to do it kindergarten through 2nd. But we do the whole school because it's an amazing program. It gives the children problems, situations in reading and math that tailor to their level and continue to get harder as they progress in their skills. We have to do it 45 minutes a week here in each math and reading, and we have seen so much growth. I'll show you in a second. But also know this, that the teachers use the information on iReady diagnostics and even the weekly progress of the kids to do pull-out groups. I've been observing them in that. I know that they use the data, like if this group isn't learning inferencing really quickly, then they can work with that small group, still spaced out for safety reasons, but give them a little more practice while the rest of the class is doing, say, their morning work. It really helps pinpoint what skills a certain 2 or 3 students might be missing out on. And we're going to continue to do that next year, and even, I hope, more and more as we as COVID restrictions ease up a little bit, because it's easier, of course, especially with little kids, to work with a small group if you can be close to them. This also works for kids we need to give extra enrichment for, too. We're definitely working toward that all the time. But I hope you looked at your kids' scores. There's a couple sheets that went home with that as well, to explain how to read the individual. But let me just show you St. Ferdinand overall scores in math and in reading, okay? Just to kind of give you a glimpse of what this program does and what our teachers have done by teaching, by the kids being here in person, and that sort of thing. So here are our math scores. And when you look at this triangle was the beginning of the year. They took that test back at the end of August, and this is the diagnostic that they just took now. Okay, and what you want to see is, you want to see a lot of kids in Tier 1. Tier 1 means that they tested in such a way that they are at grade level or above. Tier 2, yellow, means one grade level below, and Tier 3 at risk if a child is scoring 2 or grade levels below. Now you can kind of see here, back in August, whole school wide, we only had 22% of kids in the green, and now they're at 50. I mean, my boss is the regional director, Dr. Carrie King, and she couldn't believe what an improvement that is. Amazing in math. And even this, number has gone down, and especially what's important is this red. 22% were, 2 grade levels behind at the beginning of the year. That's to be expected because they were at home learning. We weren't here. Now we're here in person, and we're down to just 10% of the school. And we've still got a few months left, right, of good learning, and they'll take another diagnostic. iReady also breaks it down by grade level. Check this out. Like kindergarten, at the beginning of the year, they had no one in red either time, even at the first window. 25% of the kids were at what we want to see, Tier 1. Look how much that improved. 81% of the kids are at grade level or above for kindergarten. Okay, so that's really cool to see. And look, first grade, same thing. First grade had red at the beginning of the year. Now they don't. Okay, now they've got such an improvement here in their green, like all their red ones. Whoops, switched over. Okay, so it shows you what each grade level did. And even, we do have some red in the older grades, but we like to look at how much this has decreased. 8th grade, and we only have 11 kids in that, 64% of them seem to be a little bit behind, right? 2 grade levels behind at the beginning of the year, and now it's down. Like half percent have gone up. So for somebody to do that within a few months' time is just amazing. So all the teachers, that's math. And by the way, this was an article, this got a lot of media attention a couple weeks ago. The Arch was really touting that we have this iReady data at our fingertips here, and that compared to schools that have not gone back to in-person learning, like their scores, those schools' scores are not good, but ours are across the Archdiocese. So yeah, ours get up to that too. Now reading as well, again, we want to see, this is the beginning of the year, this is now, middle of the year, and you can see the green has improved. That's what we want to see, more kids at Tier 1. And we really want to see red go down, and it is, little by little. It also breaks down the different scores that the kids, like informational text. That is something, we've been working on that for a couple years. So again, it breaks it down by grade level, so we can kind of see where problem areas might be and work from there. But really, kudos to all the teachers for this. These are really good scores. Again, regional director was very pleased with how these are going, and so am I. And you should be proud of your kids too. And if you have any questions about your kids' scores, feel free to contact your child's homeroom teacher or me. We can go over them too. And it'll be so interesting to see what happens with the third test. The third test, I think, is at the end of April, maybe even the beginning of May. All right, so I'm so proud of that, as you can tell, and that's academics, and that's important. All right, another thing is marketing. We need to market our school, right? We have so many good things going on here, whether it's fun or spiritual, social outreach, and academics. So, we really are trying. There's a nonstop effort here. We always, of course, post stuff in our social media, especially Facebook. But recently we did have an article in the local Natick newspaper about our Super Bowl. And then Chicago Catholic, I kind of did a picture of that. Chicago Catholic is one you may be subscribed to. They have copies of it at the church, but I was interviewed for that of what St. Ferdinand was doing for Catholic Schools Week amidst COVID. So, and then a picture that Miss Margaret had taken of me leading that World Mission Rosary made it into that paper too. So it's really nice that Ferdinand got some pub there. I think the author of that article just was looking at different schools' websites and seeing what they had lined up for Catholic Schools Week and then called to interview. So that was exciting. What has taken place basically since yesterday afternoon, we're actually going to be on Relevant Radio on Monday, like this coming Monday. Just found that out yesterday. And I had submitted the fact that we did that the Rice Bowl lunch yesterday, right? So that kids could develop empathy with the children who are starving in the world and for whom they're collecting their rice bowls. I just kind of sent our flyer to different Catholic media outlets, and Relevant Radio is going to interview. Our interview is at between 8:10 in the morning and 8:35, and it's live, and you will get all this information. It's radio 750 a.m. But yeah, I'm going to pick a third grader who really, when we were doing the rice thing, like, it hit home with her. She absolutely said to me, I feel so sorry for the kids that only get rice and they don't get McDonald's. And like, she really understood why we did that. So that third grader is going to be on with me. And we're also going to then talk about on the radio the Entrepreneur Club that Miss Coco does with the 8th graders. And that's through Big Shoulders. And that's a contest we won a couple years ago, before my time. The kids got $1,000, and that check is still hanging in our hallway here because they had come up with an entrepreneurial plan and carried it out. And so Miss Coco and one of our 8th grade boy are going to speak on that. So it's kind of exciting as we get to be on the air with Dr. Jim Rigg, our superintendent, as well as Father Greg Sakowitz. So more information will be given to you for that. It'll be a really hectic little Monday morning, but I think, again, really good pub for our school about the good things going on here. So I'm excited about that. We've had a handful of tours basically since coming back from Christmas. People seem impressed with the building, and they always mark how clean it is and how nice it is that the classrooms are so big. We had an ultra successful February freeze. Last year it was successful as well. This year we had 95% of our families are re-enrolled, which is pretty amazing. I'm so grateful that everybody is coming back. Basically, we have 2 students who might be moving back to Poland, and then just one family of 2 that's transferring, and that's pretty amazing. And right now our count is at 150. That's about 140 returning because you have to minus the 8th grade class, and then I'd like a handful of new kids, right, who have taken the tours and come aboard, and your recommendations and stuff. So we are really on track. We'd like to have at least 160 kids starting next year, if not more. So we're on track for that. That's good. Oh, I just wanted to show you too, I have uniform sweater here. I did announce this in one of our Thursday thoughts, but I guess I'll just pan over to this. Okay. So, we'll still have our uniform zip up that was new last year, but I've had some parents ask me if we could bring back a sweater version of the uniform like you used to have, so the sweater material with our logo. So Dennis Uniform put together one. This is optional if you like the zip up. Like, I've gone through 2 of those already because I love how soft they are and I like being able to zip and unzip. But if you really miss the sweater, and I know some kids are still wearing the sweater from the old uniform, well, here it is. All right, so that will be an option for next year. Oh, hello. There's some of my shelves. Okay. Oh, well. Yes, Miss Margaret's down there monitoring for questions, I guess, and laughing. All right. Fundraising. We had our first annual scholarship fund drive. If you are a parishioner of St. Ferdinand School, then St. Ferdinand Church, then you probably heard about that right around Thanksgiving. We had put notices in the bulletin and mailings went out as well. And we've collected over $3,000 in donations for that. And families do write messages too, like, oh, please use this for a family that really needs it. Please use this for a teenage girl, or that kind of thing. So we're really grateful we've got that, because we never really know how much money we're going to get from Empower and that kind of thing. But here we've got a little cushion to help families for next year. And yeah, that's so wonderful that the parish reached out for that. And oh, dine-in shares, right? Portillo's, we made $100 off that in January. Excuse me. February, we just had last week, the wonderful Easy Street Pizza with $300 there, organized by a preschool parent. That's amazing that we got that much money from them. So again, good job to Monica Miller for organizing that. And I thought that pizza was so good. My whole family enjoyed it. And March, excited here. This is also Monica Miller helping us out here. She really wants to do local places, so she approached. We're going to Hagen's Fish Market. And I think that's a really good idea, because I think we're all going to miss that fish fry. I know I do already. Ironically, that wonderful committee that always runs the fish fry, they were at Easy Street Pizza. You know, they were saying they don't know what to do with themselves on Fridays. It's kind of funny. They're cute. But yeah, I'm so excited to try out Hagen's Fish Market. I think that's Friday the 19th, I believe is the date. So these are all the things going on, going well here. Oh, I guess I could make this bigger. That would help. Okay. Sorry about that. Once we came back, I didn't. All right. I'm not going to read all these, but last time we went over these as well. We always have to write goals for the year, teacher, principal, school goals. Teachers are evaluated on these. I'm evaluated on these as well. Like, are we trying to do these things? You know, particularly, I know we've been working so much on Catholic identity, and it's exciting that we get to talk about that on the radio on Monday. We're trying to keep the school vital. I believe our tests show that. The smiles on the kids' faces show that. We are still learning our social emotional development to add to the curriculum. Academic excellence, definitely we have used our information from past testing to formulate goals for this year, as well as from those surveys right now, the 5C surveys. Oh yeah, I put that on here. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. So, you know, we're working on all our school goals. Yeah, I begin teacher evaluations this week, and I get my evaluation next week as well. Okay, so the rest of the school year, what else is going on? Okay, you have probably heard that we will be getting a new pastor. This is both sad and, I don't know, I guess in some ways exciting too. Father Jason Torba was reassigned to be pastor of St. John Brebeuf, effective July 1st, and we are really going to miss him here. But we are still waiting to hear who our next pastor will be. I know Father Jason is on that committee, the priest placement board for the Archdiocese, and he is really looking for a good guy to take over. Someone who cares about the school, who will work hard alongside me, you know, to keep it going. So keep Father Jason in your prayers. He begins, you know, a new beginning after 15 years here. And I'm sure you'll be hearing about, you know, how we're gonna celebrate that as the year comes to a close. And then prayers for our school as well. Okay. We continue to be healthy. Hopefully we will for the rest of the school year. I do want to talk about spring break. The Arch decided not to do that mandated 2-week quarantine after spring break like we did for Christmas. I think that's because, you know, Archdiocesan schools, we have all different spring breaks. Yeah, I'm on a different spring break than my two daughters. They just are, right? Some are happening like next week, some are after Easter traditionally like we are, and that kind of thing. So, you know, I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to switch to this now too on mine. But recently Chicago like revamped what they consider red states and, you know, yellow states and that kind of thing. So the safest thing to do, and I know I'll be doing it, is to just stay home for spring break. Honestly, if you can wait to travel till summer, that would really be such an amazing thing for your children, for all of our children here, for all of our teachers and staff who are also giving up traveling during this time too. But just so you know, if you need to travel, there are still plenty of states that are red, and those red states will require 10-day quarantine from the day you get back. Okay, so that would probably mean missing some school. And that's going to be kind of bad because we do start ACT Aspire. Oh, we're supposed to be starting Aspire. I actually think there's information that we're not. doing that after all. But you know what? I'm getting these random texts come across my screen as I'm saying this. But anyway, you would have to quarantine during this. But if you go to the states around us, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Missouri, these so far, watch, this will probably change before we go on our spring break. These states do not require quarantine. Look, Iowa still does. That kind of Ohio over here. So, just be careful where you are traveling. Keep in mind, if you can possibly hold off. I know we all want sunshine, right? We feel so good to get away, but we're almost done with this school year. If you have to travel again, please be honest with us. You can get on your online learning if your kids have to quarantine, that's for sure. And look, there is a little bit of waylay here, right? We can sort of, travel a little bit. If you want to go out of state for the day, right, to Wisconsin, keep that in mind. I just hope it doesn't, backtrack us. Let's see. Okay, here we go again. My screen always reverts back. Okay. All right, so that was spring break. Marketing. Okay, we're going to continue with marketing for the rest of the year. You'll be getting emails soon. We're dividing up the age groups of our school so that we're going to ask maybe some parents to review our school now on different review outlets, and then maybe some people toward the end of the year, and maybe a different age group maybe at the beginning of next school year. So look for that. That'll be soon. We will also continue to post our school ads at particular times in the summer when we think parents will be looking for a Catholic school to join. That 5C survey, please make sure you filled it out. I know we need 20% of our parents for a parent opinion to count, and I think we were at about half of that the last time I was given an update over the weekend. So please, if you have like 10 minutes, if you just go to it. I also got to fill out the parent survey for my daughter's Catholic school, and it really, it didn't take long at all. And it's interesting. It's a lot of questions about like the religious aspect of the school. So, take it. We do form our goals based on that. I've said it before, but last year the kids, when they took their 5C survey, didn't seem to relate well how their religion affects their real life. And we've really tried through all these social outreach programs to get the kids to see how it does apply. So we do use that information to inform how we should keep improving. I already mentioned we're going to be on that radio show on Monday, 8 to 8:30, 7:50 a.m. You'll get a blast about that as well. It's very exciting. Pray that goes well for the teacher, the 2 students, and myself who get to be a part of that representing our school. All right. Renew My Church. When I last came to you about this, we were almost done with that. That process ended for St. Ferdinand Parish and St. Ladislaus Parish, and basically there are no changes right now to either parish. That's mostly because St. Ladislaus is not run by archdiocesan priests, but a different order. And their time at St. Ladislaus expires in about 3 years, and then they have to decide at that point if they want to keep running that church. And then they'll take a look again at everything that we evaluated about the 2 parishes and see if we're in a process, to be sharing more jobs or if we still remain 2 separate parishes. But one of the things that came out of that is it is just like mandatory. It's so important that we spread the word to the neighborhood about the school and about the church too, so that people feel welcome to check out this church and that kind of thing. So we'll be doing a lot of evangelization in that way about both the school and the church over the next couple of years. So that was that. Fundraising ideas. We have to do a couple more fundraising things before the school year ends. I think we might be doing like some kind of plant sale where you can buy seeds or starter kits or that kind of thing. Miss Jenny was looking into that for us. We might do an Easter extravaganza, like really cheap ticket raffle, like $5 a ticket, and then kind of like a split the pot thing. I think we're probably gonna do this. It'll be like a really quick turnaround, like two weeks before Easter, and then we'll pull it on the last day that we're here and see who our winners are. Raise some money that way. And then our fun runs have really gone over well with the kids. So we're kind of thinking in honor of Father Torba leaving, our last fun run will be called the Torba Trot, and we will do that in May. And he'll be like a guest of honor at it. Maybe that'll coincide with celebrating his departure and wishing him good luck. in his new parish. And then I know last time we did this, one parent had said we should really push the box tops. And then I don't think we've had a chance to even really think about that. But
different because they're online now.
Oh, that is true. Miss Margaret was just sharing that it's different because they're online. Yeah, it is. But maybe we should just take a look at that. All right. So haven't forgotten. It's just that sometimes we just run out of time to think about all these things. But all right. The social emotional learning, we have begun that. Some teachers more than others have tried some different activities with the kids. Of course, our counselor, Coach Kathy, does a lot of that social emotional learning with groups. We continue to have our trainings. I run a lot of them, as well as Miss Coco and Miss Bolin, because we are all together taking classes through DePaul. We get a micro-credential, it's called, from DePaul for finishing, which means we have done an in-depth study of social emotional learning. So the three of us are always trying to think of ways to show what we've learned in our classes to the faculty to give them ideas. And this coming week, we do have Yesenia Maldonado from the Archdiocese coming to speak to us at our faculty meeting about really finalizing our curriculum on this and what it should look like next year. So yeah, we've done a lot of work with that. I think you'll hear from your kids or from the teachers that they've done before the year ends, like 1 or 2 social emotional learning lessons. And then next year we'll really take off with that and make it part of our schedule. That's the plan. All right, another thing, athletics. This is something that is very hard for us to really address because athletics, if we were to bring it back, would not look like athletics as we knew it last year, where we play other schools and that sort of thing. But recently, the Archdiocese gave, oh my gosh, it's like an 8-page document, if you're going to bring athletics back, what it would look like. And what it would mainly look like is that it would have to be like each homeroom gets their chance to play a sport. Because as you know, we can't mix homerooms here, right? The kids' paths don't cross during the day. They are well separated from other cohorts in homerooms during lunch. So we can't even do like intramural stuff with them. But, I'm going to talk to, I'll kind of throw it out there if there are parents or our former coaches or our athletic director, if maybe we can do like a week for 8th grade to do a little camp with some basketball and volleyball, maybe some running, and then a week for 7th, a week for 6th. I don't know. There's only very limited ways. And all of the schools in our council, which means the surrounding area, are doing the same thing. Either no sports whatsoever or just something like, just basically a little homeroom type of camp. At least it would be some kind of sport. We have to see. So that's how athletics is going to look this year. And then I really hope next year we can come back with our, like a volleyball team would be 5th through 8th grade girls like it used to be. And, basketball, yeah, we could mix cohorts hopefully next year. But this year we're not going to push that. High schools do. We know that. But, so we're kind of trying to formulate there. If anybody would like to help coach before I even get a note out a couple times before the school year ends, let me know. And then people have already asked about summer camp. Are we going to be able to do it? The answer is we don't know yet. I have a feeling within either tomorrow or by the next Friday, the Arch will release what they think we should or should not do as far as camps. Lynn Finicky, who ran our wonderful STEM camp, I forgot last year was like 2 years ago was like Voyage Around the World. She has already approached me that she would love to do a camp again here, no matter what that looks like. And if it can only be for a short time in July or maybe, from the time school gets out, we have to see. She's willing to do it. And we are willing, I would love to have it. That was such a good camp. She was very good at organizing activities for the kids, and I hope we can. Last year she was all ready to start a STEM camp, and then, COVID, basically put the kibosh on any kind of activities. But I'm hoping that we can offer it. I do. Okay. All right. Thursday thoughts. Miss Margaret, are you ready? There's only one Thursday thought this week, and we had so much due, and really, nothing that really needs to be turned in and stuff, but I'm putting my mask on with one arm here. So I can walk over by Miss Margaret. Let's see. Okay. This is a skill. All right. So, we know it's Read Across America week, and there was a flyer about this, but you've got one more day, 111. So hopefully by tomorrow night, if you could send a picture of your family reading in some kind of crazy way. I've been giving the kids ideas, like maybe you want to all be upside down on your couch. Maybe you all want to wear sunglasses, baseball caps. I don't know, maybe you'll all have silly Hawaiian shirts on while you're reading. I'm not sure. So let's see what we get. If we could take a picture of Miss Margaret. What is she doing to be silly? Well, she is under part of my desk. This is my desk, and there's this little area here, and she's made herself all cozy. And I guess we could take a picture of that and publish it. All right, Miss Margaret, of you being silly here? Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. All right. Thank you for that. So that's just an idea. Maybe you want to be under, maybe your kids will be under the table or something. I don't know, but it's a fun idea. I'm so proud of the teacher committee that thought of all these fun activities to make reading fun. Just heading back here to my display. Okay, thank you, Miss Margaret, for helping to think of an advertisement for that.
You're welcome.
That's like our only Thursday thought right now. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the breakfast items will be delivered tomorrow to the kids. Couldn't do it on Wednesday because Miss Mary Clemente, our lunch lady, was instrumental in helping us get that rice bowl lunch out to everybody. She ended up cooking the rice by herself. I couldn't get down there to help her. And she helped serve it, and that was not even a day that she was getting paid to do that. So she couldn't get the free breakfast ready. They will be ready tomorrow. Okay. All right. So questions and comments. Miss Margaret, are there any questions in the comment section?
No, only Miss Kinney said she still has her computer screen. Oh.
Does she has what? What? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Look. There's Miss Margaret over there at my conference table. Okay, so nothing? All right. Well, yeah, and I didn't get any questions ahead of time. So I guess I will say thank you to everybody for tuning in today. I appreciate, you giving up 40 minutes here to hear about the state of our school, and it's good. It's good stuff. Thank you for your cooperation and partnership in keeping our school healthy and safe, and encouraging your kids to work on their work, do well, complete their iReady if they ever get time at home to do that. It's showing. The kids are learning. Our scores are improving. This is all good stuff. I look forward to the day where this state of the school used to be called Donuts and Dialogue with the principal, and that was fun last year to have you in person here eating some donuts while I talked. So I hope maybe by next time I have to do one of these, that'll be what we can do, right? Meet in person again, if we keep on being safe. So, if anyone is, in case you're wondering too, almost our whole staff has gotten at least one shot of the vaccine too. So we're on our way. The Arch has provided us some locations to get vaccines. So yeah, a lot of us have one down and one more to go. And some teachers have found locations all on their own too. So we're well on our way to being immune. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Rodriguez. Yeah, I saw that. Okay. All right. So, all right. Until next time, we'll see you next week for Thursday Thoughts. Everybody stay healthy, stay safe, try to pose in a goofy way as we end Read Across America Week. I got to do that with my family too. All right. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.